Life gets really busy, especially when you have a full-time job and 2 kids, plus other things like staying in shape and getting enough sleep and maybe running a side hustle.
Today's video is all about making time for everything you want to do. Hey guys, it's Joseph
and Tasha from One Big Happy Life. We make videos about how to find balance, build wealth, and live your happy. So if you are all about creating a life that you love, this is the place to be. So be sure to thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss a single video.
Today's video is going to be great. We are going to help you find time and figure out what's important to you and make sure there's plenty of time in your plan for everything that's important.
Now, this is a work in progress. It's a work in progress for us too. It's really easy for things to get out of balance even when you think you've got it all figured out, because sometimes you just have like this big thing going on at work and it just throws everything else off. So these are the strategies that we use when we feel our lives getting out of balance to help whip it back in shape and get us refocused on the things that matter most.
So the first step is deciding what is important to you. Now, this might seem really easy at first, but then you start to think about it, and you're gonna have to take some time to really truly figure it out, because just because you're spending a lot of time doing it doesn't mean that it's actually important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just take some time and think about, what do you feel your life is missing that you wish that you were doing more of? Are there activities that you are currently doing that you actually don't really enjoy doing? And don't be afraid to cut those things from your life to make room for the things that truly make you happy.
Number 2, spend at least one day, preferably more like a week, figuring out what exactly you do spend your time on. So go ahead and mark everything that you're doing down, time it as best you can, and figure out how you're actually spending your time.
So a really simple way to do this is just getting a piece of paper and writing down the hours of the day on each line, and then just jotting down what you're doing in each hour. And then you just collect those papers over the course of a week and review them to see how you actually spent your time. Because we often spend our time wasting a whole bunch of time on stuff that actually doesn't matter to us. So if, say, we're searching for the things that we need to get out of the house for 30 minutes, not actively doing anything but gathering our stuff, and it leaves us frazzled in the morning, well, that'll show up on your schedule, and so you'll think, well, maybe it'd be better for me to set up something the night before so I can just whiz out of the house and have a better morning routine.
Now, I will also say you don't want to use a current planner for this, because you're going to look at it and you're going to say, oh, well, this is my schedule. But in all reality, you're probably deviating from your original plan. And so even if you use a planner, which that's great, go ahead and write it down or use a blank page from the planner to make sure that you're tracking your actual usage versus your planned usage of time.
So step 3 is to create your ideal schedule, because now you know what your priorities are, right? You know, like in theory, the things that you want to be doing, and you know how you have been spending your time and the things that you kind of want to cut out. So create your perfect schedule where you fit in everything that needs to be in there.
Now start with the things that you don't really have any control over. So this is going to be work. This is going to be your commute. If you have any hard, fast obligations that you cannot move.
Like sleep. Sleep is one thing you want to stick in there. Special time with your significant other. You should also go ahead and plan for that, and know it doesn't reduce the spontaneity at all. It keeps, that part of your relationship alive.
That's important. That's very good. Plan lots of time for that. Okay, and then next, you're going to start plugging in everything else. Now, keep your first hour of your day for your really important items, because you tend to have more energy. Now, if there's another time of day, like if you're just not a morning person, there's another time that's when you have your burst of energy, well, then schedule your very important tasks for that time.
And avoid multitasking for the most part, with few exceptions. So what you want to do is time block. You want to set aside a time, like even if, like say you have your big chunk of your workday, which is 8 hours a day, and then you have a project that you want to work on. You block off 2 hours for that project and you just work on that project for those 2 hours. If you can, do not check your email. Set an away thing to say, I am, busy from this time to this time. I will respond to your email at this time. If you have a workplace that's really demanding like that. Alternatively, you can just block it out on your work calendar so it looks like you're busy and in a meeting during that period. So that is a great way to really block off that time and avoid multitasking. Things like checking your email, checking social media, that kind of stuff. Just turn everything off, put it aside, focus on the thing. Now, the one exception would be things that don't require a lot of thought and allow you to, that you have to do, that where you can also do some things like that you want to do. For example, working out while binge watching Netflix.
Or folding laundry while watching TV.
Or watching our YouTube channel, which hopefully you've subscribed to because we're buds now.
Is that what you do at work? You just act like you're in a meeting?
Yes. No. Of course not. No, but it's not acting like you just put the appointment on your calendar.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4, don't be afraid to be your personal advocate. This is your plan, your ideal plan that you're putting together, and it should include time for just you. I know you're going to be pulled in a bunch of different directions by kids, family, work, but...
significant other, just you need your space.
Yes. And it's okay to say, well, during my week, I don't have any time to myself. I need to schedule some time. We all need some recharge time that's just us, where we don't have to deal with anybody else's issues.
So one thing that, just to give a personal example that I've noticed that I've been doing lately is I've, over time, over the past year, we've taken on a lot more stuff in our free time. That's part of our side hustle. So we do 3 or more YouTube videos a week. I try to write at least 1 blog post article a week. We do emails, and then we actually have a YouTube course that has students in it that we support personally every single day. Like whenever they have questions, we're in our private Facebook group. And so that, plus of course we have our kids and work. So that takes up a lot of time, but I still want to be able to listen to my audiobooks. I still want to be able to read. I want to keep up with what's going on in the news, and I want to be able to work out. And so what was happening was there was always some input coming in my brain because I was constantly multitasking. I was either managing our social media, figuring out YouTube video ideas, or listening to audiobooks so I could feel like I had some free time while I was doing other things. But I wasn't taking space for nothing to come into my brain. I was constantly doing things, and honestly that left me feeling really overwhelmed, and it didn't feel like I had any me time. So I had to recognize that and stop trying to fill every single second with something productive and just sit back and give myself 15, 20 minutes on the train in the morning or in the evening before I go to bed to do my morning pages. Sometimes I do them in the morning, sometimes I do them before I go to bed. So that's just an example of really forcing yourself to take time for yourself, because self-care is important.
Yeah, get your spouse in on this and have them take care of the kids. It's time. Number 5, design your life for success. Make it easy on yourself. So you want to make all of these new habits and things just as simple as possible. So decision fatigue is a really big issue. So if you're constantly having to exercise your willpower over little things, it will be much harder to do it later in the day. You're going to be more likely to eat out instead of cooking like you planned. Instead of working out, you're going to say, no, I can't even do that right now. I am just going to sit on the couch.
I recently read a book on this and I really liked it. By read, I mean I listened to the audiobook and I feel like I need to listen to it again, but I will drop the link down in the description box for anyone who is interested in this idea of, meeting yourself where you are and designing around that to result in your best outcome. So I know one of the things, a really easy example for that the author mentioned was, so a colleague's family had a habit of eating a whole bunch of junk food, and the junk food was always like right there at the front of the refrigerator as soon as she opened the door. So what they did was they filled the refrigerator right in front of their faces with fruits and vegetables that were ready to go and ready to eat, and the bad stuff was actually tucked away deep down at the back of the freezer. So it was actually a pain in the butt to get. So their normal habit, which is open the refrigerator and snack on whatever's there, now they're snacking on healthy things. So they've designed their life to make it easy for them to keep those, to incorporate those healthy behaviors versus not paying attention to those things and thinking, well, all I need to do is just get rid of the junk, but now there are no snacks, and then they go and eat out and eat a whole bunch of garbage. So that's a good example of how to think about designing your life to help incorporate your goals and help you keep your schedule.
That sounds really similar to the part of the book that I'm reading. That's so funny.
Wait, Nudge. That's what
Yeah,
you're reading.
I'm reading
That's
Nudge.
not the same book I'm reading, but
No, but the decision, changing things to help you make the correct decision through little things. It's fascinating.
Another concrete example for us would be meal prep. So we don't have to think about what's for lunch. We just grab what's in the freezer because I already made the decision weeks ago, and it's been in the freezer just sitting there waiting for us.
Number 6, practice getting your willpower up. So while you want to make it as easy as possible, you also do want to take the time to get stronger, be stronger-willed. Now, start small. And with attainable goals. Don't say, well, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Okay, well, so great goal, but break it up into little things. Start off small. I am not going to walk by the convenience store, like if it's in the bottom of your building, like it is for me. Just avoid that. And then you don't go there, well, so then check that off. Good job. And then keep building.
Number 7, try your new schedule out for a few weeks, and don't be afraid to tweak it as you go along.
Your life is constantly in flux, and we completely get that. Ours is too. And so you're going to see if it's going to work right off the bat, and you'll also see if you need to add more just blank time to fill things in if your schedule is really changing, and that's just completely fine.
All right, so these are our 7 tips. Let us know what you think down in the comments, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.